By 8 lengths now, Impact du Bonheur has been left trailing in his wake. Third, Saint-Firmin. Shot Tower might upset those two, plugging on in behind them. But this is all about Gayen Yame, who is streaking impressively clear down towards the last. Gayen Yame at the last, over it safely, getting plenty of local cheers for the Joe Tizard yard. That was seriously impressive. He was buzzy throughout, keen early, but he stormed to victory. He's eased down. He's still going to win by 30 lengths. Gayen Yame is the winner. Second.
Medrano, Tom Bellamy head towards 2 out. Georges Saint over the far side, beginning to stay on again for Charlie Deutsch. Then in behind is Imperial Bead. Georges Saint picking up for pressure now. The grey towards the far side. Near side is Mount Tempest heading to the final flight. Then Imperial Bead and then General Medrano jumping the last little between the front two. Georges Saint towards the far side. Mount Tempest down the near side. Mount Tempest near side. Far side is Georges Saint, who's been driven right out. Georges Saint on the far side. Mount Tempest on the near side. Little between the Mount Tempest and Georges Saint as they head up towards the line. Getting on top close home. Looks like Mount Tempest.
James Martin now going on into the lead, but tracked through by Lime Drop under a pouncing ride from Tom O'Brien. At the final flight, Midnight Ginger now being joined by Lime Drop. Lady Gwen third. Eau is still battling on. Lime Drop is now produced on the far side of Midnight Ginger, but Midnight Ginger just holding on at the moment. Midnight Ginger from Lime Drop. They race up towards the line. Eau is back in third. Midnight Ginger, Lime Drop. There's about a length between them now, and Midnight Ginger is drawing away in the final strides. Midnight Ginger wins from his second, Lime Drop, then Eau and
then Osprey Call on the inside, and Dr. Sanderson is the back marker. 2 out, and it is still Paris Encore. Paris Encore now by over a length. 2 in second, Naming Lights, and in third, Albert's back towards the outside. They race down towards the final flight. Paris Encore comes to it, jumps it well. Albert's back is staying on now. He's got a length and a half to find. Another half furlong to go. Paris Encore and Danny McMenamin on the outside. Brian Hughes, Albert's back. 50 yards to go. Paris Encore just has the lead. Paris Encore a double for the trainer Nicky Richards.
Gayen Yame, second last, clear by 8 lengths now. Impact du Bonheur has been left trailing in his wake. Third, Saint-Firmin. Shot Tower might upset those two, plugging on in behind them. But this is all about Gayen Yame, who is streaking impressively clear down towards the last. Gayen Yame at the last, over it safely, getting plenty of local cheers for the Joe Tizard yard. That was seriously impressive. He was buzzy throughout, keen early, but he stormed to victory. He's eased down. He's still going to win by 30 lengths. Gayen Yame is the winner. Second.
Medrano, Tom Bellamy head towards 2 out. Georges Saint over the far side, beginning to stay on again for Charlie Deutsch. Then in behind is Imperial Bead. Georges Saint picking up for pressure now. The grey towards the far side. Near side is Mount Tempest heading to the final flight. Then Imperial Bead and then General Medrano jumping the last.
At the top, 4-1, co-favourites are 3.
Yes, Tom, it's a really competitive race. A lot of the handicaps here, Lizzie, have been today. We saw Gwen Aim in the paddock. We didn't see McLean and Le Patron. We go for McLean first. I'd be a little bit of a worried about the ground. He's been a non-runner 3 times due to ground, and he's had wind surgery since we last saw him.
Yeah, so he won at Fontwell in November over 2 miles after a nearly 300-day break. He was prominent. He made a couple of jumping errors. We've only seen him once since then when he was 5th in a handicap hurdle at Doncaster in January. I thought he maybe just found it a little bit of a stamina test, and he's had a wind up since.
Gary Moore is carrying all before him at the moment. 18 winners in the last fortnight. They won our opener with Symphony. This one, Le Patron, arguably disappointing last time. 3 runs at Plumpton, goes to Exeter. I don't think he perhaps saw out the trip, maybe dropping back half a mile might suit.
Yeah, French recruit. He's been placed on all 3 of his British hurdle starts. His best run was on his debut, and he was only beaten 2.5 lengths. Like you say, he's been a little bit disappointing, getting beaten 12 lengths on his 2 runs since. But as you say, a drop down and trip should suit.
Yeah, that's the trio at the head of the market. Gwen Aim, we'll go back to him. He's won over 2 mile on the level when it was 2.5 at Wincat, and I must admit I was surprised to see him drop back in trip, but he did make the run in, and they're probably going to use that stamina to good effect this afternoon.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he was quite keen to start off with, but he jumped well, and because he was in front, he could settle down into it, and they sort of left him alone. I think that he'll be able to, yeah, here we are, you can see him here. He's quickened away from them quite nicely, and he ended up being really impressive in the end. He's dropping down in trip today, but I don't think, you know, if he's got this stamina tick, they're going to be you can be quite aggressive as a jockey on a front runner if you know that they stay, and he very much does.
Yeah, quite a few of these do get dropped out. 26 length winner on this occasion, and those that tried to race him, the Paul Nicholls favourite, Impacted by Air, it was his UK debut, but he was dropped away quite tamely. Look at him careering across the line. Opening mark of 118. It's high enough, bearing in mind his wins on the flat came off 56 and 63. But Wincanton effort when third Celtic Art also reads well. I think he's a nice horse. Em Lavelle spoke well about General Medrano. This stronger tempo should suit him in handicap cuttings. He's been held up dead last in novices, and that's never easy.
No, and I think that that's not always worked. It has worked, but not always. You know, he's won at Fontwell very well indeed at the beginning of February, but then next time he was third, and the two that beat him had been up at the front throughout the race, and so he had a huge amount of ground to make up.
Similar types are going to be applied once again. Gwen Ames going to be pretty handy. Let's join Richard Hoyles for race 3. Gwen Ames, our clear favourite.
So runners about to be called forward then for the City of Exeter Challenge Cup. Edging towards the starter, and they're off and racing. Guinea is one of the first to show. Bannister was the one that was slow into stride. Trails them slightly early. Kincardine and McLean are also front rank as they take the first flight of hurdles. Kincardine jumped to the right there, made an error, but got to the other side safely. Didn't do Guinea any favours as they now make their way up past us with a circuit to travel. Kincardine out in front in the Royal Silks, the Scarlet Sleeves, has the lead from McLean in second in the noseband. Guinea settles in third in blue and yellow. Purple and yellow with the noseband. In fourth place is Le Patron, who is just ahead of the next trio. Midnight Ginger on the inside of Jolly Nellery and Helloa Mail on the outside of that duo. Gentle Connections comes next, then Platinum Card, who is just worse than midfield in the purple jacket. And the last four, General Medrano, Gregor, Bannister, and also held up is Santa Million as they're making their way down the side of the racecourse. Rain really taking effect here. It's at their sides at the moment. It'll be bang into their faces once they turn into the back straight. A little while till they get there, however. Kincardine has the lead by half a length from McLean in second. Guinea races third ahead of Le Patron. On the inside running rail, Midnight Ginger of Lucky Nellery and Helloa Mail, one of the greys on the outside. A couple of lengths then back to Platinum Card, who races on the outside of Gentle Connections. And the back four, General Medrano, Gregor, Bannister and Santimillion. So they'll turn and feel the full force of the driving rain now once they turn into the back straight. With Kincardine and McLean providing the shelter for Guinea Le Patron. Helloa Mail on the outside, doesn't have the cover of those two with Midnight Ginger and Lucky Nellery. Platinum Card, who's raced enthusiastically, is in 8th place, just ahead of Gentle Connections. Santimillion towards the outside of the course with Gregor and General Medrano. And still at the back is Bannister. So just about completed the run towards the second flight. First of 4 in the back straight. Kincardine again shifts out to the right, but he's on his own there now, so did no one any harm. And they're on towards the third. Kincardine and McLean, the first two to rise. They are over in the lead. Guinea continues just to track the leaders with Le Patron, Helloa Mail. Platinum Card taking slightly closer order with Midnight Ginger. They're all pretty well clustered in that mid-division. Also in there is Jolly Nellery in the black and white ahead of Gregor. Santimillion's making some ground on the outside as they step over the next flight of hurdles. Gregor and Bannister with General Medrano and Gentle Connections are all at the back of the pack. Kincardine leads them up then towards the fourth last flight of hurdles. McLean in second. Guinea, Le Patron and Midnight Ginger, who's moving through on the inside. They are third, fourth and fifth, just ahead of Helloa Mail as they take the last flight in the back straight. Over next is Platinum Card on the outside of Jolly Nellery. Behind these, General Medrano. Gregor's being ridden along right at the back. Likewise, Gentle Connections as Bannister tries to improve. But they're now just beginning to string out as Kincardine and McLean press on. Guigname is 3 lengths further back, but being ridden. Then Midnight Ginger, Le Patron, as they take the bend, racing in 5th place. But the leaders have just got a little bit of a break on the rest of the field. Platinum Card and General Medrano are both making good progress from the back. Then Jolly Nellery. Behind these, Hello a Male is being ridden along. So out in the lead, Kincardine has McLean now pushing along. General Medrano continues to make ground. Guigname comes next, Midnight Ginger, Platinum Card, and then Le Patron over the third last. Kincardine still pursued by McLean. Then behind these in 3rd place and still trying to stay on is General Medrano as they race towards the second last flight of hurdles. Kincardine and McLean continue to show the way. General Medrano's into 3rd place as they head down towards the final flight of hurdles. McLean on the right, Kincardine on the left as they race towards this final flight. Kincardine has the narrow lead. General Medrano is still not entirely done with either as they race off up the run-in. It is Kincardine from McLean. General Medrano trying to get a gap up the inside running rail on the run to the line. It is Kincardine, a royal winner for His Majesty the King. Kincardine is home in front. Kincardine beat into 2nd, the running on General Medrano, who's possibly just got that position ahead of McLean, then Guigname, Bannister and Midnight Ginger.
Kincardine returns to form for Nico de Bonville, Nicky Henderson and His Majesty the King and Her Majesty the Queen's consort. Pulled up on both starts this season, but he's had wind surgery, cheek pieces applied. He wins at 7-1. Cracking run, nearly an Emma Lavelle, Tom Bellamy double. General Medrano, the only horse to make up ground, and back in 3rd. McLean, another horse coming back from wind surgery, fills the places, and it was pretty murky in behind Lizzie, but it looked to be up front, the place to be there.
Yeah, and so Captain Medrano has fallen foul of tactics again, hasn't he? When you're having to... And my goodness, he made up some amount of ground, and he did it really eye-catchingly, but it was proving to be a task, too far, really, to get in front of the winner, who's been really honest out in front. Set a lovely pace, jumped really well, and then stayed very well for a horse who's struggled to kind of get things to go his way. He's shown that he's got ability in the past. He's won a maiden hurdle, he's won a bumper, and obviously the wind surgery has really helped him find that kind of ability again.
Yeah, pulled up in both his starts this campaign. It's 3-1 initially at Ludlow, 10s at Toxeter, 59 days off a track as a cracking effort. Watching the head-on again, there was room for General Medrano, but he'd used up so much energy to get involved, bearing in mind all those horses that raced around him didn't do so. Just didn't quite have enough in the closing stages, but you've got to mark him up, our runner-up. Kincardine then, our winner, 7-1. Another royal winner. Slip of the pen looked good yesterday on the flat at Kempton, Tom. Won over hurdles today.
Yeah, that was impressive at Kempton, going up the far side, wasn't it? Kincardine has won here. Nico de Bonville, Nicky Henderson. And job done with the cheek pieces on for the first time. Wind done too, pulled up the last 2 starts, but much, much better here. Kincardine wins.